we go. Awesome. Well, good morning and welcome to week 2, everybody. Yeah, you can have a little laugh at me. How'd your week go? Did you guys have a good week? Awesome. Great. Excellent. So here's the thing. I gave you a lot of stuff last week. That was our step 1, our foundation, our introduction, and then every week is going to build on that. So there was a lot of stuff covered, some great information. It doesn't stop there. Look at these next weeks we're together as a transformation, like a slow burn. It's going to take time, and we're going to be adding a little bit more as we go along. And I also want to say that some of you guys had some great questions last week, and that's awesome. Mike, you had some really good ones. Also, if the question pertains to the module that I'm talking about at this time, then I'll address them. If it's something that's going to be like next week or the week after, if you don't mind, I'll probably park that on the shelf just for the sake of time and logistics. And if I go too deep into something, it's going to be confusing because it's going to be out of order from what I'm trying to teach. So I love the questions. It's great. One of the reasons I'm videotaping is so I can go back and listen to them and make sure I address them. I did have some technical issues after the break. My microphone wasn't on, so now I know to check. I went upstairs to talk to the front desk, and I think it disconnected somehow. So I'm now another technical thing, so we're working on it. I got that down pat. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. It's not that I'm blowing you off or brushing you off or anything like that. It's just, it might be something, and I'll let you know that we're going to talk later on. So bullet frame, what I call a bullet frame really quick. Anybody want to share a success story, something you implemented, what went well, what didn't go well, or anything from last week's training? Has anybody tried? Anybody knows conversations?
I had a situation where I had an expensive fix and very quickly put together an option for a replacement. It wasn't a success. I mean, I told the customer really quickly an option. I could tell by his body language he was not interested at all. So I got through really quickly just saying, listen, I just put this together quickly for you so you could see it. I didn't really have anything in, it wasn't a conversation. It was just me telling me. It went quickly, and I just offered him the option. It wasn't really open to didn't open up to anything we learned to be able to kind of get to the next step.
Okay. Thanks. We're going to play with questions today that you can, then with someone like that, you can ask him different questions that might get him to open up and find out what his decision-making criteria is. Yeah, would that help? Awesome. Keenan, good morning. This is under tab 2 for your module, and then this goes under tab 7, just so you know. Anybody else have anything they want to share? Were you noticing any conversations, people talking in, if they were visual, auditory, kinesthetic? Yeah. Nope.
I tried to pick up on things, but I didn't catch anything. The visual one makes the most sense, like I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the audible one, I got it.
Yeah, when they're saying hear, tell, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We're going to practice that today. So, awesome. Your key distinction sheets, again, there's a copy there. So those are for you to write down any takeaways, ahas, and more. When you hear something, also make note of how you want to implement this, how it's going to benefit you in your role as well. So I'm going to do a little recap here. So we talked about the 7 dynamics of change. We did an exercise to demonstrate that what you're going through can feel awkward and uncomfortable. Same thing with your homeowners when you're asking them what we say, vote with their dollars, or certain conversations could feel awkward and uncomfortable. With the exercise too, it points out that sometimes we don't look around us at all the resources. We feel like we're limited with our resources. Why we communicate is to feel good, to stop feeling bad, and then to have a certain result or outcome. We talked about E plus R equals O, the event plus the response equals the outcome. Can't control the event. All we can control is how we respond to get the outcome. We dove into the primary communications, the primary components, words 7%, voice qualities 38, and physiology 55. The percentages aren't as important as knowing that your physiology and your voice qualities must match your words. with the intent that they're given in order for them to receive it, because sometimes message sent isn't always message received. We did the demonstration with the OK exercise with the physiology, where I had you put it on your chin, but I was putting it on my cheek, so you followed the physiology versus the words. Again, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, meeting the customer they're at, speaking their language, so you're connecting with them and they feel it's building that trust and rapport. These are all part of trust and rapport tools. And then matching and mirroring, commonality creates rapport. Again, meeting them where they're at. We did the exercise, some of you chose sex, some of you chose learning, to demonstrate how the English language is tough. Again, sometimes message sent isn't always message received. You might be saying some words and they're not interpreting them the way you meant them. We had the precision model we went through, and with the precision model, the goal is to communicate specifically so that people understand there's less chance. Your goal is to be able to communicate specifically so there's less chance for upsets, miscommunications, do-overs, and eliminating the fluff, and also noting when other people are fluffy. Same thing, not just your verbal communication with your emails, your texts to customers, noticing where there could be a whole bunch of fluff words in there where we can be a little bit more specific. And then we dove into belief systems, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So we took a look at belief systems. Where could there be some limiting beliefs that are holding you back? And then how to take a look at those beliefs, the table. We use the table as the reference, or the legs are the reference point. Are they true? And then you can question those beliefs, wipe out the legs, and you can create a new, more positive belief. And the other part too is with your beliefs, when you start to say things and you notice, it's like, is that true? And every time I teach this, I love it because stuff will come up for me. And then I also, and I love it because a lot of times when you're teaching stuff, that's what happens. Stuff will come up for yourself. So I had a few things on the weekend. I was like, that's a limiting belief. I was just limiting myself there. Is that true? And when you start to look at it, you can wipe the legs out and say, no, okay, this isn't true. What do I want to believe instead? And then awareness precedes understanding. Understanding precedes change. You need to be aware of something in order to understand it and then achieve the change. So I made you aware of the VAC exercise, or I made you aware of VAC, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, but if I just made you aware of it, it's like reading the cover of a book and putting it on the shelf. So for you guys here, I would like to take some time right now for you, invest some time, and we're gonna do a little VAC exercise. You guys wanna do that? Does that feel good? This is fun, and I want you to have fun with this exercise. So have fun. Huh? VAK. Did I say VAC?
I thought these are just facts.
VAC. Okay, VAC. VAK.
I think you said something and everybody heard something.
Oh, VAC. Okay, VAC.
I don't know how that
Yeah.
falls in the precision
Yeah.
and visual.
And you know what? Here's the thing. I'll just be fully transparent here. As a trainer, we can be in our head with also what we're training, and sometimes words might come out of my mouth that I mix up. Feel free to call me on it. Just say, Shauna, you said this. What did you mean by that? Because that happens. It's in conversations with my husband. I said something the other day, and I'm like, that's not at all what I meant to say. And it happens. So go ahead. If I say something, you're like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense. So, okay, so for this exercise, what we're going to do is you're going to partner up. Do we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Okay, even people. Okay, you're going to partner up in twos. And so you can come stand in the middle, stand at the back. What you're going to do is we're going to have a person A and a person B. Person A is the homeowner. Person B is the contractor. So what you guys are going to do is I'm going to hold up a sign, and then I love your facial expression. And person A, the homeowner is going to be facing me. The contractor is going to have their back to me so they don't see the sign. So I'm going to hold it up, and then person A is going to just have an easy conversation. It could be something as far as, like, if you look at kinesthetic, it could be the homeowner saying, I don't know if I feel like this is the right decision for me. It can be that easy. You don't have to go into a deep conversation. You can just pick one of the words, and then as the contractor responding, you could say, it could be something as easy as, what would you need to know to feel like this is the right decision? Or what information would you need to know to feel like this is the right decision? So does that make sense? JP, you got a cute look on your face. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So what we're going to do, if you guys want to stand up, pair up. You don't have to go, like I said, into a huge, deep conversation, right? It could be something with the air conditioner if they're visual, right? I want to know what it's going to look like on the side of my house. Is it going to mess with my flower bed or something like that, right? Okay, so pair off in twos.
Okay.
And make sure that person B back is towards me. So stand one person with their back toward me.
Customer?
B is the customer.
You wanna be
Oh, no, A is the customer, B is the contractor.
Oh, okay. You just stay here.
So homeowners face me, contractors face the back of the wall. So I'm going to pick up a card. Oh, wait, I'll hold up a card and then you go into that modality. Okay? So, yeah. I'm going to show you guys what you have to do. Oh, no, you don't have to go back to back. Oh, you don't have to go back to back. Just yeah. You don't have to go back. So, oh, no. So one person, or who's the homeowner? Okay, you face me. Okay, you turn around and face him.
I lost my.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. Oh my God. Because the whole idea is the contractor doesn't see the modality you're speaking in. They have to interpret it, what you're saying. They have to pay attention to what you're saying. Okay. Yes, auditory kinesthetic. And then you're going to respond, whether it's visual. You're the contractor. So the homeowner is going to say something to you. And they're going to use the words exactly, either visual, auditory, kinesthetic. You have to pick up what they're on and respond. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's play with this. This is a fun exercise. Okay, here's where you have to, your modality, guys. Homeowners, got it? Hey. You. That was good.
It depends.
Okay, I'll just wait.
Actually, like Iceland, I mean,
Did you guys get it? Yeah. Okay, how did it feel? Did it feel good? See, it's not as weird as it seems just doing it. Once you start practicing, like it's really easy when someone's like, I feel like I'm not ready for this decision. Can you show me what this looks like? I need to hear what the unit's going to be like, right? So when they're saying those words, then you just respond back to them and they're like, oh my God, they hear me, they see me, they feel me, right? So you're connecting with them. Yeah. How was that?
Good.
He saw it.
It looked good.
Yeah.
It looked great. It sounded
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So basically, he was just running through like a salesy.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. I'm not a salesman. Not yet.
Yeah.
He's just responding with the same interpretation of like the visual response.
Okay.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
See, and here's the thing too, like even in a conversation where with the homeowner you go in and you don't have to be in sales, like this is like service communicating too, right? Where like, you know, with auditory or something, they can be concerned about the noise. They can be, I'm concerned about this. And you can say, oh, I'm curious. You know, I hear you, that you're concerned about this.
Just whatever I decide to respond with, I gotta hit him back with the
Yeah.
I hear you or I see you
Yes.
or I feel you kind of thing.
Exactly. Because now you're speaking his language and you're
I
connecting.
see what you're saying.
So it's about, there you go. It's about, I use that one all the time. Because it's about building that connection with the homeowner and trust and rapport. Because when you're speaking their language, they feel like you're connecting with them. They feel seen and heard. Yeah. Yeah. Are you visual?
I don't know what I am.
I can see.
I'm a touchy grabby.
How is that for you guys? We're gonna do a few more. Yeah. Can you see how that works? Where you're going to say something and then you're responding in the like, and then all of a sudden you get that connection where the homeowner feels seen and heard because they're speaking their language. Yeah, is that good for you guys? Okay, we're going to do another one. So, yeah, you can do the same position. Okay, you ready? Homeowners? Okay, homeowners.
A new sewer line in. It's going to be like stiff, it's gonna be pretty rugged, is it gonna be you got that. Is that gold? We should have never seen any words you. We got
Not bad. The visual, the new left word.
How is it? Cool. Awesome.
You responded to when he's putting down?
You're good at communicating. You're good at talking. Yeah.
Well, when I look into JP's eyes,
Killer eyes. Yeah.
You know, that's especially with when you're describing it,
Okay, so what we're going to do,
the kinesiology sort of movement stuff.
was the other person able to pick up what you were saying? Did you recognize it and pick up,
I recognized it, but I wasn't quite too sure how to
respond?
respond. I knew he was asking me like in the kinesthetic way,
Yeah.
but yeah. But we're working on it.
Okay,
We are, yeah.
You picked up
good.
on both, by the way.
Awesome. Yeah, when you practice this, it's going to be easy. You're going to notice conversations with each other, your family, your kids. You're going to be like, oh, okay. So we're going to switch now. So we're going to switch around. Oh, you looked. You're not supposed to look. As I point a finger, sorry, that's not nice.
or like, what do you think about?
Oh, okay, so this new avenue for this.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You're going with that one.
What was it again?
I know. That's actually funny.
Old and racking it up, so it makes a lot of.
I envision you guys coming back every day. I want to put some work on. You guys can't do that.
How is that, even though you saw it? Were you able to pick up words? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hardest one for me is the kinesthetic.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Well,
I
and
find more people I hear seeing and hearing things. than
Seeing and
I
hearing,
hear
yeah.
The feel.
yeah, yeah. And where the kinesthetic might come in as well is, are you guys, so are you, sorry, you have to refresh my memory. What are you installing? Like, what are you guys putting in? What kind of service
I'm more
or
of like a plumber, so
plumber?
heaters and like
Okay.
fixtures and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Okay, HVAC, yeah. Some people might even ask you about the furnace. Is it flimsy? Right? So they might ask that. Is it solid? You know, they might bring up something like the last furnace I had, the metal was really flimsy. So if they start asking about that, like the structure, like whether it's, and for even plumbing fixtures, they might want to know, is it, or different things like sinks or something, because some have a texture to it,
Yeah.
right? So they might focus on like textures and that kind of thing, the feeling.
Yeah, fixtures we care a lot about like the
Yeah,
visual and
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Awesome. That's where it's going to come up for you as well. They might be around the whole.
Solid it feels or how, as a structure, how solid it feels.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah. And they might use words like at the end where if you're giving somebody, say, a furnace quote, or you're having to add something to the furnace, they might say something like, I feel like I need more information, or I feel like, I feel like I need some more information to make the right decision, something like that. So if they use the words, I feel I need this or this, their chances are they're more kinesthetic as well. So yeah, and they can be all three,
yeah.
right? So it's just kind of knowing that if someone all of a sudden they're using those words and you're hearing the feel, respond in the feel. If they start talking about noises, right? I want to know what it's going to sound like. Exactly. Yeah, you get to be a back. You get to interchange the conversation. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay, everybody. How is that? And here's the thing too, because I mentioned last week that they're predominantly going to be stronger in one or the other. But during a conversation, like we were just talking, if it's like plumbing, like a sink or something like that, they might ask you about the texture, but then they might throw in some other like auditory or visual, because now they want to see what it looks like as well. So you get to interpret what they're saying. So if you hear them saying, about the auditory, then you can respond in auditory. Then if they talk about the feeling and the texture, you can respond in the feeling and the texture. So in one conversation, they can bring up a few other different modalities. So it's just, again, responding to what they're saying so that you're now connecting with them. Was that helpful exercise? Good, because it's actually easier than what we think. So that's why we didn't have time last week, but I wanted to throw that exercise in just so you can play with it. And also the last day we're together, it's 6 hours. And that seems like a long time. I'm going to have lunch catered in. But during that time, we're going to be doing a lot of practicing. We're going to be practicing those coming into the front door with the homeowner, greeting them. And so all of this is going to come together.
Practice lunch today?
Pardon?
Are you practice lunch today? Are you ready for that 6 hour session?
Do you want it?
I think that would be.
We're going to practice and have fun.
I think that would be appropriate.
But if you need help at lunch, let me know. I would make myself available. You know what? This is so true. I have one contractor. He never returns my call. I text him, how about lunch? Yep, tomorrow. I'm like, yeah. Right? I know. I was in the industry for 25 years. I get it. So awesome. I'm curious, if you were told by your doctor you must change your lifestyle or die, would you? Put your hand up. If you were told by your doctor you have to change your lifestyle or die, would you? Common sense says most people would say yes, that they would change their lifestyle. But here's the thing. Most people don't. There was a study done in 1993 with Mutual of Omaha. They had 333 patients that were told that if they didn't change their lifestyle that they would die. And so what happened was a year later they went back and interviewed them, and only 7% actually changed their lifestyle. So what they did was they brought in Dean Ornish, and he did weekly programs with them for a whole year. So it was on diet and exercise and mindset and program. And what they found worked was programming, reconditioning, week after week after week. They stopped the program after a year. 2 years later, they went back, and when we interviewed those 333 people, 77% stayed with the changes. And that's why, oh, you're over here, Arthur. That's why, again, one and done training isn't as effective, and why this is over 6 weeks. So you get to come back and we get to program and recondition so that it starts to feel comfortable for you guys. So as we embark on this journey together, is it possible and crucial to recognize that preparation is not a one-time thing? It's something that needs to be done over and over. Okay, so. Oh, my cartoons. Oh my God, does this customer actually expect me to assist her? What did you do to end up here? I committed a crime against my customer. I put him on hold for an hour, made him repeat his story 3 times, and then I disconnected him. Please listen carefully as some of our menu options have changed. For customer service, go fly a kite. For technical support, whistle in the wind until the cows come home. For repair service, wait for you-know-what to freeze over. Just some funny humor. So fear. Let's talk about fear. I'm curious, does anybody here know the definition of fear? Want to take a stab at it? One of the definitions in the dictionary is people feel fear when they're about to do something they're not prepared for. So that's what we're going to be working on here. 82% of contractors that I interviewed last year came up with part of it was fear and lack of confidence in communicating and having conversations with customers, which comes from not being prepared. So that was part of our training exercise that we just did. It's helping prepare you to recognize as you're having the conversations with the homeowners, whether they're visual, auditory, or kinesthetic. So fear comes from not being prepared. And did you know that 90% of people won't buy unless asked? And by asking 11 or more questions during a conversation increases your chances, if you're selling something, of getting that sale by 74%. And if it's not a sale, just by asking questions, it increases your level of connecting with them, communication, a better experience for them, that then they'll refer you as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely you want to be. And we're gonna dive into questions too. Yeah. Why? Because by asking questions, it builds rapport, it builds trust, and you're connecting with them. When I was in commercial, I used to ask a lot of questions, actually. Mm-hmm. And so that with the contractors, typically contractors will spend little time asking questions. Did you know that 86% of people ask the wrong questions? So you may be wondering, what are the right questions? What are some good questions? Well, we're going to be diving into the questions after our break. So it's no wonder that fear can come up. Imagine what it would feel like replacing that fear with confidence by being prepared and having these questions, like having a toolbox. And then confidence. Does it take confidence to learn? Yes or no? Yes. Too little confidence, you don't think you can learn. Too much confidence, you don't think you need to learn. And both of these can be dangerous. So as you embark on this training journey, is it possible that it's critical to recognize that preparation, again, like I said earlier, isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing event. So when you go, just like when you go to a martial arts studio, do they teach you 12,000 kicks and punches? No. They only teach you like 12. Because if you're in that alley or you're getting attacked, you don't have time to say, wait, let me research this and pull up my manual and look at all these kicks and punches. Can you just hold on a minute? No. You're able to respond right away. So that's what we're going to be doing here. Meaning, I'm not going to be giving you a plethora of stuff to understand and to go through and learn. We're going to be diving in some stuff that you can maybe someday use. What we're going to be going through here, it's going to be more succinct and focused so that you guys can dive in. You're going to discover some best practices, conditioning, programming, and reinforcing, what we're going to be diving into here. So the first thing on your manual, page 2, is called cushion statements. Cushion statements are softeners. We used these last week with the precision model. And you can use them prior to asking a question. I'm curious or I'm wondering. I'm curious, when was the last time you had your unit serviced? If it's a new customer and you're going in for the first time. By asking I'm curious in front of it, you're not making them wrong for not having it serviced, you're just curious. So it's cushion statements trigger compliance. And they trigger receptivity. They help with building trust and rapport with that customer. Otherwise, there may be some questions that cause resistance. Oh, sorry, did you put your hand up? Oh, okay, that may cause resistance. Now, you may be thinking, do I say I'm curious or I'm wondering with every single question? Would that be annoying to the homeowner? Yes, it would. So, no, you don't. I would use it definitely for the first one. You can use it like every 3 or 4 questions. And depending on the conversation, because you brought up a good point, Mike, even with commercial, you're not going to be going through all the questions I give you with every single conversation that we go through. It may be like you're going to pick 1 or 2. And then pick some for the situation of whatever the conversation is you're having that you feel will fit in at that time to get them to connect and to get more information from them. So I'm curious, like I said, again, just definitely on your first one. And to use it anytime a question comes up where, again, you might feel a little bit of resistance. It could be something as simple as like budget-related costs, or some kind of privacy, or, instead of saying to somebody, what's your budget for this furnace install? You could say, I'm curious, do you have a budget for this furnace install? It softens it up for them, because talking about budgets can be difficult for some people. An example 2 here, before we get started, our diagnostic fee is $250. Any repairs would be additional. I'm curious. Would you be ready to move forward? Or would you like to move forward? So it puts a bit of a softener in there. And there's a couple examples in your book. And then next we're going to talk about, in addition to matching and mirroring that we talked about last week, speaking the customer's language, another great tool to build rapport is a compliment frame. And is it possible that giving a compliment could feel awkward or uncomfortable? Yeah. Yeah, it can.
Especially when your customer is wearing booty pajama outfit. You don't want to compliment on that.
Yeah. Pardon?
He was there.
Oh,
He's seen it.
yeah. But a compliment, it can feel uncomfortable. Like if I was to say, Mike, I like the color of your hair. See, at first he's like, okay, is she serious? Does she really like this? Is she messing with me? Like, is this right? It can feel awkward and uncomfortable. It can also feel awkward and uncomfortable receiving a compliment.
Yeah.
A lot of times we are not taught how to just receive a compliment. Right away we want to dive into something and kind of like justify it or whatever it is, right? We're not taught how to receive compliments. So first of all, when it comes to your homeowner, there's 3 parts to the compliment frame. And the whole idea, again, is when you come into that house, it's to build that trust and rapport. So the 3 parts, we're going to dive into the 3 parts here. So the 3 parts for the compliment frame. Number 1 is be sincere. You don't want to just make something up. And the example, and thank you, Mike, for pointing that out, the example in the book that I had. I really love the addition you did to your home. This could obviously change because he just pointed out that typically you would be putting the unit in without it, or before the upgrade. But here was just an example I put. I really like the addition to your home. And then number 2 is justify the compliment. Tell them why so they know what behavior to react to. I can see why you want to upgrade your furnace, making your new addition just as comfortable as the rest of your home. And Mike did point out that typically they would be upgrading the furnace while they're doing the renovations. And so when I was thinking of this one, it was actually my neighbors because they did a 3-season sunroom. They added on, and then afterwards they're, oh crap, we should have put some heat in there, and then we should have put some air conditioning in there, so it was after the fact. And then the next part to the compliment is leading with a question, so that it avoids any embarrassment. An example here is, I'm curious, did you design this extension, or did you have someone else do it for you? And it could be something as simple as you walk into the house, say you're looking at painting your own house, and you and your partner, roommate, or just on your own, you're looking at color swatches and you can't decide what color, and all of a sudden you walk into one of these beautiful homes, because I know you guys are in some pretty amazing homes, and you walk into the home and you notice the color on the wall, and you're just like, oh, that's the color, I like that color, and you can connect with the color, and you can ask them, wow, that's a great color, I really love that. The reason I say that is I'm looking at painting my house. I'm curious, did you pick out that color yourself, or did you have an interior designer? Right? So it's giving them the compliment, justifying it, and then leading with a question, because now they're going to respond, and you're connecting with them, and they're thinking, oh, wow, this is, you're having a conversation. They're like, oh, they actually care, right? Versus just walking in and say, oh, nice house. Can you see the difference? So that's the compliment frame. So give a sincere compliment, justify it, and then tell them the reason why. And then ask the leading question, because it causes them to feel good about the compliment, as opposed to be embarrassed or a dead space that can happen after a compliment. So you can give a compliment on the property, on the yard, on the interior design. It could be the view. You can walk in and compliment on the view going, wow, I love your view, this is amazing. That would feel so cool, looking out on this view every in the morning versus looking at our neighbors. I'm curious, did you build this house here because of the view? So something as easy as that, and then they'll go in and they'll start responding and say, yeah, actually we did, or whatever it is. So, and you can also give a compliment on their behavior, meaning, do I have that one on here? No. On their behavior, meaning you can appreciate or recognize them doing their due diligence on calling you out to come and do a service call or whatever it may be. An example here is, Janet, I love the fact that you're doing your due diligence. And then you can justify, I appreciate your investment of time to do that, because many people don't. They don't invest the time or the energy it takes to get the information they need to make a great decision. I'm curious, is there a specific reason why you reached out? That's if it's, like say for instance, you're coming in to quoting a new piece of equipment, or something could have been, they want something like even on the plumbing side, and they're not sure what they need. It could be congratulations on doing your due diligence, so you can make a great choice or a great decision. And there's more examples in the resource section on page 11. And you guys can practice this. You can start practicing going in and using the compliment frame with the homeowner, because here's the thing, you don't get a second chance to make that first impression. So invest some time practicing it. It really works. And if you guys have a better way or another way to create great rapport when you walk in that house first thing, other than, hi, I'm so-and-so for ABC Plumbing and Heating, and then you just go to your thing, right? This is all about connecting with them, building that trust and rapport. Because even if it's, like I said, a service call, but the whole thing is down the road is having them leaving that with 100% them feeling like they had a positive experience, then they are more likely as well to refer you to others and talk you up to others as well. So, so it helps with trustworthy, credibility, and it also comes through that you trust, they can trust you and you're knowledgeable as well. Those are two key factors. Trust and knowledge are two key factors for working on credibility. So let's just see here. So next, next week we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to choose a few people to give a compliment frame. So if you want to practice that, then next week we'll come back and we'll do a little practice on that. So you want to practice in private, we want to be rewarded for in public. So that's what we use this space for, so you can practice here so it feels comfortable. And then using names effectively, page 4 of your manual. I'm curious, why is this important to use a customer's name effectively? Yeah, sorry? Yeah, good one, great answers. Listen guys, this can be common sense, and yet it's something that gets looked over. I had a gentleman yesterday say, oh, I never use their names. And so this is important, because it does, like you said, it's your confidence, it's connecting with them as well. And most people don't do it, just like going, you should eat vegetables, or you should go to the gym, or you should exercise, like all the things you should do, but you don't do it. Most people don't do this But the reason I'm including this in the module is, first and foremost, using their customers' names helps build that personal connection. It shows that you're a real person who cares about their needs and wants. Because that's number one. We're going to be diving into, even with the questions, about finding out their needs and wants. This is showing that you care. And it instantly can make them feel, and yourself, feel more at ease with them. So you only be careful to use their names occasionally. People like to hear their name. And it also makes them feel like that you're present, you're conversational, you're connected, and not simply attempting to share facts and features or to sell them on something. But here's the trick. You don't want to overdo it. Using someone's name should feel natural and not forced. And it's all about timing. And then using names effectively after a pause. So when you've made an important point in a presentation, a key benefit, pause briefly and say their name. Here's an example. The advanced air purification in this system ensures clean, healthy air for you and your family. Pause. Sarah, this is especially important for anyone with allergies. So you can use their name after a pause. Next, what we call a change in speaker. If you're transitioning between different aspects of the conversation, and if your customer asks you a question, you can use their name to re-engage them. So James, you asked about maintenance costs. Let me break it down for you. And then next is ensuring attention, meaning when you have crucial information to share with them and you need to confirm the customer is fully engaged, drop their name. Now, before we move on, Emily, I want to make sure you understand the maintenance agreement. So again, you're connecting with her. So you want to keep it natural and be careful not to overuse it. The key here is to be authentic. Make sure it doesn't sound like you're reading from a script as well. Put in your own personality. Use their name as you would a friendly conversation. Oh. And then keep it natural. Also consider mirroring their tone. So if they're using your name, then you can respond in like kind. Thank you for explaining that, Mr. Smith. I appreciate your thoroughness. Okay, so let's do a quick, whoops, wrong one. Let's do a quick pattern interrupter. Stand up, because I feel like let's get some energy flowing, guys. I know it's a lot sitting. Okay, so take your hands and go like this really fast. Really fast. As fast as you can. Faster, 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 faster. Now go sideways. And the other way. Above your head. Behind your back. And now feel the energy shifting in your arms. Can you feel the energy going up? Yeah. You can also do some cross crawls if you want, if your back's okay and you can do it. It just gets that, yeah. It just gets that energy flowing. So I know this is kind of names and compliment frames can seem kind of basic, but it actually does mean a lot to the person you're communicating with, and they're important when you're building trust and rapport with the homeowner.
Well, I know when we use Service Titan, like our names show up, especially whoever's showing at the house, but it's always nice to kind of introduce yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes the homeowner will introduce themselves, but yeah, I always try and talk to them.
Yeah.
Use their name.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, it does. It feels good. People want to hear their name. It feels good.
Up until you say it wrong.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Like a Carolyn or a Caroline.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Corinne, Corinne.
Yeah. I really have issue with the name Keith. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right coming out of my face.
I'm gonna call you John, cause I hate your fucking.
There you go. That's the way to do it. Okay, so next, we're going to talk about page 5 of your manual, mind reading.
Say mind reading?
Yeah, mind reading. Mind reading is about being a perceptive service professional who generally cares about the homeowner's needs. And when you use mind reading, you may be thinking, you may be wondering, or you may be curious, or asking yourself. If you can read their minds, you're aligning with them because you're bringing up any potential thoughts, concerns, or objections in advance. So mind reading is what we call bringing up the monster, and here we go. Sorry, I thought I had it on that slide. Resistance, hesitation, and objections. So you're bringing it up in advance. We call it killing the monster while it's tiny. So resistance, hesitation, or speed bump, or objections too. Meaning it's simple. You want to focus on the solution instead of giving too much energy to the objection, the resistance, or the hesitation. So there's examples on page 5 and 6 in your book. You may be wondering if regular maintenance will be a hassle. We're offering maintenance packages that are designed to make it convenient for you and keep your system running smoothly per manufacturer's guidelines. Now again, I just created some stuff here. Your words and what you guys are going to have, like you'll have some different stuff, and because you're having those conversations every day with the homeowners, I'm not. So I just kind of created some examples here that I thought you could kind of learn from and go from. Another one is you might be thinking this is a big decision. We completely understand, and we're here to support you every step of the way, answering all your questions and addressing your concerns. One could be a few things came up during the interviews, and one of them was reading the manual. So you guys get to play around with this. You may be wondering why I'm reading the manual. It's for your protection. We want to make sure that we cover all our bases as per the manufacturer's guidelines. So you're bringing it up to them before they're making it an issue. That's, of course, if they come in and they're, right? So you're bringing it up to them. Exactly. So you're bringing it up to them first. Or you may be curious why I'm investing additional time to research this. It's all about our communication. It's all about our commitment to provide our best services possible and ensure the furnace operates safely and effectively as per the manufacturer's guidelines. If you're curious about the slight increase from the original quote, it's because of the additional repair and extra time required beyond the additional estimate. You may be wondering why I'm calling tech support. Occasionally, complex issues arise that requires additional support, demonstrating our dedication to providing the highest standard of care for you and your furnace. So you guys, and then there, oh, I have one more here too. You may be wondering why I don't have that particular part with me. It's because we use factory-approved parts for your protection and as per the manual. As for the cost of the part, I'll provide you with a detailed breakdown of the expense incurred. Your satisfaction and trust are important, and we appreciate your understanding in this matter. So you can take a look at some of the objections, some of the concerns that come up, and then you can just have something, like even as a company, like these are just words I had, but you guys know your common ones that come up over and over. So you can take those common objections that might come up. Oh, bless you. And make sure your responses acknowledge the homeowner's concerns while affirming your competence and dedication to providing quality service. Does that help you guys? Because I know we were talking about how stuff can come up. So if you do it in a mind reading form, you're bringing it up before it's become an issue. And if there's other where you've had other scenarios or other conversations with a homeowner and you know our customer that these are common objections, then take a look at those common objections and go, okay, how can we use mind reading here to bring it up before it becomes actually an objection? Okay. So you may be thinking, you may be wondering, and now we're going to do another exercise. People learn best when you do exercises. So, okay, here's another one. I've got a really important subject to share with you. And would you agree that focus is important? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You've all heard that what you focus on, you get more of. So if you're focused on objections going in, what are you going to get?
Objections.
Yeah. If you focus on solutions, you're going to have solutions. If you focus on providing value, you're going to provide value. It's going to come across as you guys providing the value. So focus is critical when you're having a conversation. The homeowner, the customer, because it takes the focus, their focus, and directs it. It's almost like leading the witness. So we're going to get them to focus on what we're going to talk about in a minute. We're going to get them to focus on. So it's all about focus. So now you're going to do an exercise, and this exercise is about focus. In a minute, I'm going to have you close your eyes and then keep them closed until I give you further instructions. But right now, I'm going to challenge you to look around the room and see everything you can see that's the color red.
Okay.
So I'll give you 20 seconds. Look around the room, see everything that's red. Okay, now close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. That's where your top of your eyelid reaches the bottom of your eyelid, Sonny. Keep your eyes closed. Don't open them. Keep them closed. Now I want you to say out loud.
One at a time?
Yeah, you can all at the same time. You can all say it at the same time. Say out loud 3 things you saw that were the color blue.
Fly ladder.
Blue.
JP's.
I got
Nice
what is,
t-shirt.
Shirt.
Walmart bag.
Tracy's coffee mug.
I have a blue shirt on, but that's only because I know I put it on this morning.
The hypothetical.
And my hat.
Okay. Now keep your eyes closed. 3 things out loud that were the color red.
There's a bag over there. All the guys had it. Got them in Tracy.
Shirt.
There's red on there.
Okay, open your eyes. How was that? Was it easier to see the red than the blue?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that?
Because you're looking for it.
Yeah, yeah, because I had you focus on the color red. Were there other colors in the room you didn't see? Because you were focused on red. Yeah. There's plenty of blue in the room, right? In fact, there's probably more blue than red.
I saw that coming, so I was looking for things that look brown.
Oh, that's awesome.
I saw that on Instagram. I'm like, no.
That's awesome. Oh, wrong color. She threw me with the blue. Yeah. So here's what I had you focus on it. I led you down the path to focus on the red. Is it possible then you can lead a witness, lead the homeowner by getting them to focus on the value, the benefits, the education? What I'm going to call is like our trends, research, wow statements, which you're going to learn next week, right? That we're going to cover next week. The reason I'm sharing this exercise with you is because your goal is to control the focus, the physiology of your customer, meaning you want them to focus on what's important to them and not get distracted by the price, the delivery date, or the install, the window which they show up for the install. Those things aren't as, they're important, yes, but they're not as important as them saying yes to whatever it is you're wanting them to say yes to. It could be, that install or new sink or hot water tank or boiler, whatever it may be. So you want to make them aware of the red, meaning the problem. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. The reason for sharing the problem is you want them to focus on the problem that they have or may not know they have. If you start where you're having them focus on the solution and you walk in the house and you're talking about the solution, that can lead to pushback and that can lead to resistance. It feels salesy and it feels like they're buying something. It feels like they're being pushed. So we're going to talk about syntax and the power of syntax. Remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it and the order in which you say it. Your physiology and your voice qualities must reinforce the words with the intention that you shared them. So it was like I said, the chin, the cheek. Oh, I wasn't listening because I was following the physiology. So let's talk about physiology. This is the syntax or the order. If you talk about a solution, again, like I said, your product, your company, it's about you. You're going to get some pushback. Just like last week when I went up to Curtis and I pushed on his hand and he automatically just pushed back. It's about the problem. You're getting them to associate with the agitation. The agitation that they're experiencing with the problem. Could be the broken furnace or whatever the problem is that you're there to solve. So that you want them then salivating for your solution. So problem first, solution second, not the other way around. So if you were walking to a home and saying, Mrs. Smith, we have a solution for you. It's our 2-stage high-efficiency furnace. All our clients are putting it in. You're going to love it. Now you're leading with your solution, and it feels pushy and it feels salesy. So why don't you want to lead with the solution?
Feels salesy and pushy.
Good. Awesome. Yes. Yes. So there's no light without the darkness. You don't want to lead with your solution because there is no light without the darkness. That's page 7 in your manual. Think about walking into a room and there's no lights on. It's perfectly dark. And if you turn on a flashlight or you turn on the light, what kind of impact do you have? Yeah, there's a big impact because now all of a sudden you see the light. But if you walk into a room that has all the light on already, and you've put on a flashlight, or you go to turn on another light, like a little lamp, is there little or no impact? Yeah. So there's no light without the darkness, meaning if you create enough agitation or dissatisfaction, and I say agitate, don't irritate. So agitation without or dissatisfaction with what you're with where they're at, then you can come in and shine on the light. And they're going to be like, oh, thank God there's a solution. So there's a lot of dark. You want to turn on the light. So you're here to get the problem solved. Then there's plenty. As soon as you solve the problems, now all of a sudden there's plenty of light. They don't need to turn on the light or shine a flashlight if their problems are already solved. If the hot and cold spots aren't a problem for them. If they're not seeing whatever the situation is, if they're not seeing it as a big problem and then you come in with a solution, it's not as impactful. So we want to talk about the problem first, solution second. Now the first thing you want to do is create an appetite for your product or service. Meaning, you never want to start talking about yourself or leading with your solution. Now, when we say never talk about yourself, it could be the company, it could be the product, it could be the brand. By doing that, we're leading with our solution. Again, it only feels salesy and pushy. So start by identifying the problem first that they may or may not know they have. Now, how does this show up? If you go to the house and you see that there's a 20-year-old or 20-plus-year-old furnace, it's been repaired several times, and it's not working. And they say, well, it's just not working. Can you go take a look at it? It's making these noises. So you go down, you take a look at it, and then you realize, okay, this unit is, 20-plus years old. There's been several parts changed on this. You notice it's on its last legs. Maybe perhaps a situation where you have to order the part in, that it could take some time, or it's going to be a costly fix. You can ask them, I'm curious, when was the last time it was serviced? If it's a product that you guys don't service, like you're called into this, it's a new client of yours, right? You can see it's like it's an energy hog, an old unit. Now the price of electricity is going up and gas is going up. So you want to make sure that you're making them aware of the problems that they have, or they may not know they have. They may just think you can come in and change that part one more time, right? So you want to have a conversation with them, meaning around bringing up the problem first and letting them know. It could be something like the furnace or an AC is not working properly. They already know that, but they just might not know that it's on its last legs. So it's not fixable or costs too much. So you want to bring up the problem in advance before sharing the solution. And then next, use contrast to better position and set up your solution. And we're going to have a conversation around this. It's first getting them to focus on and understand their problem. It's really, again, an exercise of focus, just like I had you focus on the red. So now you can diagnose the problem before you prescribe a solution. It's like going to a doctor. You don't go to the doctor and ask him what's on special. No, and the doctor will ask you about a series of questions. What hurts? Where does it hurt? What are your symptoms? Is there family history? They're going to ask you all these questions if it's a good doctor. They're not just going to give you, say, here, my pharmaceutical rep said, here, take these pills and you'll be all better. They're going to diagnose it first. A good doctor will diagnose it first. So you want to do the same thing. You want to think of yourself as a doctor and diagnose the situation, the problem. This is different than diagnosing the actual furnace, the technical side of it. We're talking about like having a conversation with the person. I just wanted to make that clear because that got confusing the other day. So we're diagnosing the problem. This is going to be part of the conversation we're going to dive into with the homeowner. Do they have different zones in the house that don't heat or cool at certain times of day? Does anyone in the home have allergies or asthma? Then next, did you guys get everything on this slide? Okay, perfect. Then next is ask, don't tell. That's the next one on page 7. The goal is to create desire and have them salivating for your solution. Before you bring up the problem or your products or services, like I said, what are your customers' biggest problems, biggest challenges, concerns, fears that they may know or may not know they have? So go ahead now on the page there's 1 to 5, and list out the most common problems or challenges that customers have and they're telling you about. I'll give you a few minutes to fill those out. Then in a minute, I'm going to get a few of you guys to share. I know some of you will have probably similar answers for similar customers. Because the next, once we come back from the break, we're going to be working on questions, keeping these problems and concerns in mind. Gabriel, do you want to share?
Yeah, I got 3.
Okay.
So I find a lot of people are hoping for warranty on things, and that seems to be a concern for a lot of people.
Okay.
I had recently, some people were just kind of getting stressed out and concerned with how long they're going to be without hot water
Okay.
when you're kind of doing a swap out.
Okay.
And then if someone's at work and one spouse is at work, one spouse is home, they always seem to want to check with their spouse and
Ah.
just kind of make sure everything's
Same page.
yeah.
Yeah. That probably comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. Sunny?
Like for water heaters,
Mhm.
most of the customers like is tankless hot water tank is as good as the conventional hot water tank.
Okay.
Is them gonna get the hot water tank hot water right away?
Yes.
That's what the normal notion is. Steam humidifier is better or a flow through humidifier is better. What are the benefits of having steam humidifier in place of
Okay.
traditional flow through? And okay, I'm getting a new furnace. Are I'm gonna save some gas or what are the benefits I'm gonna get in relation to my old furnace?
So you want to know the savings they're going to get?
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. We'll just go around the room. Devin?
A lot of people have concerns about their insurance when they're dealing with Poly B.
Oh, okay. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I know recently a lot of insurance companies are getting a little more particular about having Poly B in the house. So I think they're raising premiums and prices for people who still have it.
Okay.
So a lot of people are worried about getting it out to lower that price.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. Next. Anything else?
I think it's a strong arm tactic.
Is it
Oh, yeah.
by the insurance companies?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times won't even insure a house that has Poly B.
Really?
Some do, some don't.
Oh, wow.
It's,
They got
Year?
it too.
Purchase?
What?
The insurance company, they got it.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any others?
Um,
You can give a couple.
So yeah, a lot of people are worried that their toilets aren't draining properly.
Okay.
So, like, they have flushing and they hear gurgling in the back, so it's either their whole main is clogged or they just need a partial rebuild on the toilet.
Okay. These are good. Awesome.
Very specific.
Yeah. I love it. These are going to be good because as we're creating questions, you're going to be, is this a concern? So you're going to be bringing stuff up. These are perfect, guys. I love them. Curtis?
I don't know if I understood the question fully. But
Okay.
basically, what the clients are asking the most about is the cost of the equipment, value they're getting,
Yeah.
of their investment. Warranty is a huge one. I didn't think about that one. But those are definitely like the major things I get the most of. And some things they don't see is like cutting what is entail for the job itself. So do we
Okay.
have to cut drywall? How long is it going to take? How often? How long are they not going to have hot water for?
Yeah.
Something like that. So
Okay.
filling it in there.
Okay. Perfect.
That answers
Yep.
the question.
Nope. That's great. Because these are all concerns that are going to come up with
Yeah.
them. So there's any concerns, problems, right? That
Yeah.
they, even stuff they may know or may not know they have, like you just said, the drywall are cutting out and yeah. There's certain aspects of your install, right? That could be a concern to them, but they're not aware of it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
JP?
Usually just they're not knowledgeable about the product or like industries changing and energy savings, so questions about different types of units and options
Okay.
is always coming up. I get a lot of things come up where it's elderly people and
Yeah.
just physically they have you know, they can't do the job themselves, I notice, problems like that. A lot of customers stress about touching anything with water,
Okay,
so just things like that, I just pick up, I guess.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine more like broad, those were better examples those guys had. Or like just, more mainly, I like proposing a furnace replacement or something like that, or like financial concerns, or like maybe not being ready for a big purchase, just, or a change like that. Comfort throughout the house, that kind of thing. Summers in Alberta with lots of smoke, if they can't go outside, how they wanna mitigate that.
Perfect.
And then if you propose something, they wanna be right, that, you wanna make sure that if they have a few options, that they make the right decision. Make the right decision, that they, is it the right, equipment for them, kind of similar to what Sunny was saying.
Yeah.
The tankless versus atmospheric and that kind of thing.
Excellent, I love it. Just environmental, green issues come up? Okay. Okay, good.
I've said one that has understanding the value of our service.
Yes,
So they want to know product-wise, are they getting the best bang for their buck, but also your time?
Yeah.
Is it worthwhile for them paying
Yeah.
for us to be there and not understanding the value that that's bringing them?
and I love that you said the value of the service too, because the stuff you're learning here as well on like communicating, that's adding value. You guys are the value added. The moment you meet that customer, you're the value added. So it's how you interact with them, it's how you connect with them, how you engage with them. That's value added, and people don't realize that, but it is. It's from that. It's like, you know, it's from the moment you said hello, right? That's you're the value added. Mm-hmm.
And I think homeowners on a whole don't see the difference sometimes.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, why are you more expensive? Well, like,
Yeah.
you could get a guy who shows up in a panel van with like off Kijiji,
Yeah.
who's gonna
Yeah.
be ranty and,
Yeah.
you know, have poor interaction with you.
Yeah.
But it's cheap. You have to pay for somebody who, again, shows up looking professional, polished, who invests in training, who.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
all. Like, there's a cost to that as a consumer as well, and I think most people are aware of it once you explain it to them.
Yes.
They go, oh yeah, you know what, true.
Yeah.
You know,
And once we dive in after the break to the questions, they're going to be so powerful for you guys because it's asking these questions that it really shows you care and you want to understand their needs and wants. Because that's the value, is you understanding their needs and wants. So we're going to guide the conversation that way after the break. It's going to be really powerful for you, and that will actually also clear up a lot with homeowners because you're going to be having a different conversation with them than I guarantee you a lot of contractors are having. So it's gonna. This is what's going to elevate you guys to the next level. Keenan?
Yeah, I got like price, like as Ashley said, but she elaborated more than me. Like I can have mechanical, just put it in and go, and then it will be cheaper and it will work, but it's not correct procedures, I'd say, and then brand, and then dealing with the contractor too.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Arthur? No, that's fine.
Mike I got the same with Mike with air quality. That's going to be a big one coming up.
Yep.
Redundancy is one that I always end up talking to customers about.
Yep.
Energy bills.
Perfect.
Comfort, when I talk about comfort, it's about monitoring their home, feeling comfortable that their home is safe.
Yep.
Health of their home, quality of their home.
Awesome.
So with Keenan bringing up quality of the build,
Yep.
what is the build going to look like? How is it going to look? Is it going to be pretty? Is it going to be as nice as the home, or is it going to look like spaghetti on the wall?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Excellent. All good. Very good. I'm glad you guys are bringing up indoor air quality because I love talking about that. So we're gonna dive into some stuff around there. Eric?
Yeah, great answer from everyone. In addition to the like price and budget situation, is a lot of our clients feel like because they know John or Marty that they just deserve an inherent discount.
Ah, really?
That's, I'm sure you guys have already faced.
maybe just call Eric.
Yeah,
He'll
man.
give me a deal.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. You know, adding on to warranty, many guys have probably been in situations where we did a house, you may not have known that. What is the warranty on something? They're like no really knowledge of, you know, from a new home perspective, that warranty.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we got? Mike touched on comfort, too hot, too cold in situations. smells that they may not know CO2 poisoning you guys that
Oh.
you know, shut off furnaces because of whether or not we can do that in Alberta or not, but you, you know, have made that decision. Like, great, so good from the value perspective. So
Yeah.
great.
Excellent.
Context.
Yeah. Jeff?
I had some similar things. One thing, like just the difference in the equipment noise. Like, is it quieter? Is it, you know, like of course you want savings if you're changing efficiencies. They're expecting that, but lots of times they're not knowing that there's going to be the new furnace might sound completely different than the old one, right? Like,
Right.
And the other thing I had is like, especially if you're going into somebody's house and you're doing an estimate and you see, or you're there to do a sort of a pre-visit before you're going to do the actual installation, and you're like, you're fucking, pardon my language, your mechanical room is a mess.
Yeah.
You need to give us some room to work.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah.
people, you know, under a sink, you go to check a drain or play with a faucet and it's full of stuff. You know, and people called you to come there to go and look at that,
Yeah.
and they don't ever think that, oh well,
I should have cleaned everything
Some
out.
do.
Now
but
you're going to be paying
not
my
very often.
time because I've got to clean this out.
Yeah,
And then they probably get mad at that.
that's well, especially when you put it on the estimate, it's like difficult access. They're like, what's this? Like, well, how
Yeah.
am I supposed to work in that?
Yeah.
But lots of our clients, they don't care. There's shit everywhere.
Especially mechanical rooms. That's where all the junk goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like, I wish they just said they were mechanical and not storage rooms.
Yeah.
That's what
The-
they always become.
There you go. Yep. Yep. We when we built our house, we have our the mechanical room and a storage room, but I actually had them kind of make the family room a little bit shorter, so I had room for storage. So mechanical room, there's room to get around.
Yeah.
We made sure of that when we built it, that there was room. Yeah.
But don't look in my mechanical room because it's full of chairs.
Awesome. Those were great answers, guys. This is good because we're going to be taking these and we're going to be building on these. So I'm curious, did you know that an undisturbed prospect will not buy? Meaning, if they're satisfied with the temperature, the hot and cold of the unit, I said it before, they're satisfied with their electrical bills, if there's no disconnect, then they will not change. You want to ask them questions that are going to get them to focus on the problems that you've identified. As a service professional, that could be the age of the unit, the efficiency, hot, cold spots in the house, noise level, whatever it be, like the questions that you guys, or the problems that you just brought up. Could have been they did an addition or a renovation and now there's off-gassing from the new building materials. Whatever it is to get them to focus on the problem that they know or didn't know they have. And now they're going to salivate for your solution. They're going to see a need for your solution. What are the dangers or costs to them for not changing out that older furnace? What are their children more susceptible to allergies or toxicity levels in the home? Are there concerns about not sleeping at night and they have to keep their windows open because the zone's either too hot or too cold and they can't sleep properly? And it was brought up already about the smoke. Is it possible that all the smoke we had last year is causing problems, breathing problems, indoor air quality? And we're going to be tapping into that as well. These are potential dangers or inconvenience or upsets for the customers if they do nothing. So take a look at your clocks, your watches, your phones right now. It's I have 9:31 on my watch. Is that?
Close.
Okay. Let's do a 15-minute break. Okay? Yeah, there you go. You're good, Mike. 15-minute break.